How's it going, everybody? Rice Bonds, Montana de Young here. So I've been challenged by my good friend Matt, whose name is Mr. Burrows 3 on YouTube, to put together a top 30 list of my favorite 1990s inserts of Barry Bonds. And this was originally inspired by our friend in the group, Andy Burkett, who showed off his top 30 of Cal Ripken. And since those two videos have posted, a slew of others have posted theirs, so I had to give mine a little bit of thought and finally came up with my 30. They're all from the 1990s. They're all inserts, or could be seen as inserts, given the circumstances. And the way I narrowed mine down was just basically how happy I was to look at these cards as I opened my shoebox and looked at them. So many times that had to do with just how pretty the card was and nothing to do with how rare it is or how valuable it is. Other times it has to do with the value or the rarity, the scarcity, how much people covet it. All that sort of feeds into how much pride I have in a card when I look at it. So for me, the top 15 or 16 cards are all interchangeable. On any given day, they could probably be my favorite card that I own. And then after that, which makes this list interesting, you just kind of had to like pare down exactly what you thought should be worthy of your own personal top 30. So without further ado, let me get to my number 30 card. Starting with number 30 down to number 1 is the 1999 Upper Deck Wonder Years. Now, this is just the base. I haven't been able to land the doubles, triples, or home runs, which are out of 2,000, 50, and 1, respectively. But it's one of the cooler looking cards I've seen. I understand that the border out here actually varies a little bit in color depending on which tier of this card you get. But I got this at the National with my friends Matt and Greg, and it's a very cool looking card. So that is my number 30 card. I need to land as much of the rainbow as possible, so that'll be one of my projects. All right, number 29 is the 1999 Stadium Club base card. And the reason to me that this qualifies as an insert is because down here you can kind of see where the Barry Bonds should be, and up there you probably can't see, but there should be some Stadium Club sort of hollow foil in both those places, and it was missing in one of the boxes of 1999 Stadium Club that I broke, and it was probably the coolest sort of PC card I could get amongst those. Number 28 is the 1999 Pacific Invincible out of 67. This just came in, so I talked about how these cards really are ranked in order of how happy I am to look at them, and oftentimes the newest, shiniest toy is the most interesting to you at the time. And you can see right over there, it is out of 67. There's also an opening day parallel of this that is out of 69, so I want to land that one. And you can see the background here is acetate in the little picture area. You can see my finger moving behind it. So that's number 28. Number 27 is the 1998 Ultra Diamond Immortals. I can't really tell if I'm picking up the shine. I hope I am. This card is one of my first 90s pickups when I decided to start collecting 90s inserts, and it is 1 out of 4,300 packs or thereabouts. So when I found out how valuable it was back in 2005, I decided I liked the card a lot more than I did. I actually got rid of this card. I think I got rid of this exact copy of this card for another Barry Bonds card because I originally thought it was going to be acetate. When I got it in the mail, I realized it wasn't, and so I was disappointed by it, but I've since sort of changed my tune on it, and so now it's made my top 30 list. Next up is the number 26, the 1999 Omega Copper. When I opened up 1999 Stadium Club, it was to try to hit the triumvirate luminescent, and then I opened up the 1999 Omega to try to hit a Barry Bonds 5-tool talents, and the most I could muster was a base card. This is the Copper Parallel. You can see that it's out of 99 there, and these fell, from my experience, about 2 per box. So you figure this is a parallel set of the base set. There's 250 players in that set. If it were 1 copper a box, then you would have to buy 250 boxes, odds-wise, to get a Barry Bonds. But since it's 2 a box, it's half that much. Still, 125 boxes to get 1 copper out of 99 of a Barry Bonds is no small feat. Number 25 is something familiar to many 90s aficionados. It is the 1997 Circa Rave. It's numbered out of 150, and of all the cards I'm going to show you today, this one has sort of the stated, the odds of pulling this are longer than pretty much every other card I'm going to be showing you today. I did a calculation, and it's anywhere between 1 in 12,000 to 1 in 16,000 packs to pull a 1997 Circa Rave out of 150. Next up is the 1996 Ultra Season Crowns. This is the gold medallion. As you can see, that area is filled out in gold. There's also the regular issue of the same card. And with this card, it's not a very valuable card, nor is it, you know, relatively difficult to pull compared to the other stuff I want to show you. But I love it because I'm a fan of acetate cards. I'm obviously a fan of Barry Bonds, and you're going to see FLIR Ultra represented pretty heavily in my top 30 because it's one of my favorite products. I feel like it's just rich with a lot of lower end stuff that is really cool, including the gold medallions, which I happen to be partial to. Next up is number 23. It's the 1999 Revolution, and I had some difficulty deciding on which one of the rainbow I was going to show, so I guess I will show the red. This is the one out of 299. There is also the Shadow series, which is embossed in the front. That's out of 99, and then that's blue. And then there's also that gold one that looks exactly like a base card, but for the fact that it is embossed and is stamped out of 49 on the back. Next up is the 1999 Paramount Hollow Silver. Did I skip it? Oh yeah, sorry, back up. Next up is number 22, the 1995 Ultra Power Plus. It is one out of about 1,800 packs, so in terms of actually having to buy the box packs, it would be a nearly impossible card to pull. But compared to a lot of the other cards that I'm showing today, this is considered a relatively easy pull. Relatively easy by eBay standards, because you can go online right now and probably buy one of these for just a couple of bucks. But it's from 1995. It's my favorite Power Plus design of all the years. And of course, it has the gold medallion. So it's the more restricted parallel. About 1 out of every 10, I believe, is a gold medallion, or the entire print run is 1/10 of the regular print run. So one of those. I can't tell which one it is. That was number 22. Number 21 is my Pinnacle Epics from 1999. This is the season. So it's been explained by Andy Burkett and others that there's 3 colors and 4 different tiers in the regular set. This is an important card to me because it's a bankruptcy issue. It's rumored to be only 3 or 4, maybe at most 10 of these in existence. They were not packed out because they were supposed to be in a product that never got released because the company that owned it, Pinnacle, went bankrupt. And it's just a really, really neat looking card. It's part of one of my favorite sets. It's part of one of the first insert sets from the 90s that I decided to collect. So it has a lot of personal value to me. Plus it really isn't an easy card to get. Alright, so I jumped the gun there a little bit, but number 20 is the 1999 Paramount Hollow Silver. So I like any card that has an awesome hollow foil shine, which this has. And as you can see, it is out of 99, but the hollow silver foiling is actually gold, which is just really weird. I think they actually messed up because I also have the hollow gold, which is silver colored, and out of 199, which is kind of the opposite of what you would have expected. I think what actually ended up happening is that this was supposed to say hollow gold and they messed it up. You would think that hollow gold would be the more limited of the two, and then hollow silver would be the one out of 199. But it is a beautiful card. It's a very recent pickup, and I've recently been like sort of a huge vacuum for hollow foil limited Pacific parallels. So that's a new favorite of mine. I really like it. Alright, number 19 is the Ultra Hitting Machines. This is something that you've seen in one of the other videos at least. I think Ben showed it off as one of his top 30. It's also the gold medallion. It's one in about 28,000 packs to pull the Barry Bonds gold medallion. Though I've talked about how in certain circles, folks think that this card is not quite as rare as its pack odds would suggest that it is, but it's still a pretty cool card with all the die cutting up top and the hollow foil. That really does it for me. Okay, next up is the Bowmans Best 1997 mirror image atomic refractor. That's what it says here on the PSA label. This one's graded out of a 9, as you can see. I like this card because of the shine and because of the players on it. You got my favorite player, Barry Bonds, Andrew Jones there, and then on the back, one of the most popular and best players of all time, Ken Griffey Jr. and Jose Cruz Jr. We won't talk about that. That card is about 1 out of every 1900, so that's how difficult it is to pull the Barry Bonds Ken Griffey Jr. card out of that set. Next up is the number 17 card from 1998, the Tech Refractor. This is a set known to many. Basically, they released, I believe, 90 different patterns in the background with the same card as base cards, and then each of those 90 patterns have a sort of cracked ice look. That's the diffractor look. I believe that there is only 10 of each pattern, which means that there are 900 diffractors out there available. This one happens to be pattern 69. I have a couple of these, but I felt that, you know, this card number 3 in the set, pattern 69, I felt that this was one of the best looking ones, so this is the one I decided to show off. Next up is the 1999 FLIR Brilliance Gold. This card is pretty sweet, actually. I really like, I'm a sucker for a hollow foil, so when they do a good job with the hollow foil, even though it's only here in the name, it really gets me. So I got this card sort of as a stand-in for the card I really wanted, but I ended up falling in love with it, and it is one of my favorite cards that I own. And as you can see, it is out of 99 down here at the bottom. It's a pretty limited card, pretty difficult to pull. Okay, next up is the 1999 Hollow Green from Paramount. This is a card from Pacific, and I've been kind of on a Pacific kick recently. And as you know, I like these little hollow foil looks. I've narrowed it down. I thought this was like the electric blue parallel, but I believe this is the hollow green, because there's really only the hollow gold that has hollow foil. That's the other one, and this certainly isn't gold. It would have said so there. So I can only surmise that this is the green. The 1999, excuse me, or 2000 hollow green. I believe it's 2000. Yeah, it says up here 2000. So next up is the 1999 Omega 5 Tool Talents Tier 1. When I saw Chuck and Matt get their guys, I think the Cal Ripken's out of 50, and which is a Tier 3 or Tier 2, and then A-Rod is out of 25, it's Tier 3, and then there's a couple of players like Vlad and Roger Clemens who only have one of ones of this card, but it's the 5 Tool Talents from 1999 Omega. I just like the design of the card. I just think it's a cool card. The first tier is out of 100, as you can see there. So it's the easiest of all of the special cards to get, but I still love it, and it's indicated down here by the blue foil. I think that the second tier red is out of 75, so apologies. And the third tier is green. That's the one out of 50. I think that's Cal Ripken. The 25s are purple, and then the fifth tier golds are out of 1. And I've never actually seen one of those before. So if anybody has one, definitely comment below with a link to a video or a URL showing that off. I'd really like to see what those look like. Alright, next up is the number 13 card, the 1999 Ultimate Victory Ultimate Collection. This card has been shown off by a few others in their top 30, and there's really no secret why. It's a pretty unbelievable looking card. It's out of 100 at the bottom, as you can see there. And you might be able to see that the pattern sort of resets in 2 different areas on the card. Those are not refractor or print lines, that's just the design of the card. I was worried there for a second that I might have gotten a lemon, but it turns out that I was worrying for nothing, that all the healthy cards look like this. It's a pretty unique looking card. When I first saw it, I decided I had to have it, and snatched it the first moment I got. Probably the card I overpaid most for, but I don't mind it. You know, those cards that you overpay for but that you love don't feel like overpayments at all, and that's one of them. Next up is the 1999 Ultra Platinum Medallion, which I've shown off in the group before. I just like this card. I don't really know why. I mean, I think the hollow foil definitely helps. The action shot, you can see the ball flying right out of there. The background is all metalliced out, like platinumed out, but the picture of the player sort of pops in the situation. Barry Bonds jumps out. This card is out of 99, and I really like the color that they chose on the back too. It's a really striking color. Number 11 is the 1996 Ultra Home Run Kings. It's not really shiny at all. There's just a regular sort of copperish foil. It's the gold Medallion issue with the sort of wood grain. It is the redeemed version of the card. Don't know if this card came out of a pack or was mailed in for, because these were sort of acquired by both methods. These are one in over 8,000 packs, and it's one of my all-time favorite cards now because of just how it looks. This picture and design is awesome. Like, if I could blow up any baseball card and turn it into a poster, that would be the card. All right, top 10. This card here is the 1997 Skybox EX 2000 Essential Credentials. It's a card that I think more than one person is going to show off in their top 30, but it's definitely a unique card. You can see it's acetate over there, and you can see right through it behind the silhouette of Bonds. This one happens to be a PSA 9, which matters to me. Pay no attention to the foil or the distracting penny sleeve inside the grading slab. That is, as many of you who have followed my national saga know, is something that happened as a result of kind of a mix-up when I wanted to get things reslabbed. I had to think twice about doing this video because a lot of my favorite cards are look like this, because I took them to the National to get them reslabbed. They came back looking pretty terrible. But this is a top 10 card. I got it because I couldn't get the 1998 Essential Credentials, and so I got it kind of as consolation, and it ended up being one of my favorite cards. This is a card that I really haven't shown publicly yet, but it is the Man from 1998 Finest. It's a card known to many. It's a beautiful card, as you can see from the shine. This one happens to be graded a 10, but as you can see from the discoloration on his face, there's a significant amount of greening or discoloration, which plagues a lot of the earlier Finest sets, including the one from 1998. But the Man refractor is also shiny on the back, and it is out of 75, as you can see there, which is pretty cool. And this is number 24, which is Bonds' original number when he first joined the Pirates. When he joined the Giants, he took 25 instead to honor his godfather, Willie Mays. Number 8 is Donruss Preferred from 1998, Prized Collections. It's a beautiful card. My friend and fellow Bonds collector Nate told me I had to go out and get this card immediately, and get it I did, and I don't regret it at all. It is a spectacular looking card. These are not numbered, but they're out of 55, and as my good friend Greg so painstakingly explained to me, this is kind of a sort of a compilation set released after a whole bunch of regular issue cards were released, and they put like a different sort of hollow foil finish on it, put some etching on it, and wrote collections in cursive over there on each card. And they did it with 4 Donruss sets released that year. This one happens to be sort of a retrospective of the Donruss Preferred set. That was number 8 all time. Number 7 most favorite card is the 1997 Pinnacle Epics Moment. A lot of people would show the Emerald because it's the most limited, but Epics Moment is really the first insert that I decided to collect. It wasn't one of the fancy ones. It's just through my own research and things people on the message boards and on the Facebook groups had said, and I found orange to be by far the most striking of the different colors. So even though this card is not very valuable in terms of sale value, it is one of my all-time favorite cards. It is partly responsible for my interest in inserts in the 90s. So I chose this one as opposed to like a rarer one to put in my top 10. Next up is a set that is in a lot of people's top 30. I only have the green. There's also the purple and the red, as many of you know. The green is unbelievable though, and is out of 250. As you can see, this is the pack issued variety. There's also the executive proof and also the backdoored ones that are available. This is the Call to Arms. They never did release the regular 1998 Bonds Crusades because it was supposed to be in a set that never came out because of the bankruptcy of the parent company. But it's a beautiful card, and it's going to be in a lot of people's top 5, and it certainly almost made my top 5. So, speaking of which, number 5 is the 1999 Stadium Club Triumvirate Luminescent. This is the second most common, or also the second most rare in the rainbow. It's about 1 out of 3,400 packs. When I got it in the mail, I had no idea what I was getting into. It turned out to be one of the coolest cards I have ever seen. And just as Nate said in his video, so many different technologies at play here. I happen to like this better than the even more rare leg of the rainbow, the Illuminator. It's much rarer, and it's also hollow foil in the front, but because it's see-through, I don't think the shine is nearly as mind-blowing as it is here. This one happens to be graded as 10, so I traded my raw version, that was the card I sort of discovered the set with, for this one because it was a great upgrade. Okay, that's number 5. Number 4 all time is the 1999 Ionics Reciprocal Techno, or Tech, as it's notated in Beckett and other lists. It's just a gorgeous card. Folks who sort of followed my collection know that this is one of my all-time favorite cards. It's just a beautiful card all around. Even when it doesn't shine, it would be a beautiful card. It's just beautifully designed. It's a great picture. And as you can see, it's out of 100. So it's pretty limited. There are copies out that don't have any numbering, and I think it's because it was sort of released backdoor. But yeah, I really love this card. It's one of my top cards. I think Bonds is actually having a little bit of fun in this picture, which is a rare sight to see on his baseball cards. Either because he didn't smile a lot, or if he did, the designers of the cards didn't decide that that was the image that was most tied to the player. I'll leave it up to you to decide which one it was. To my top 3, 2 of these should be really recognizable and are going to be in a lot of top 10 lists. First of all, this is the 1993 Finest Refractor, a set that is well known to many. It's a beautiful, iconic card. It's the first year that Bonds was in San Francisco, so I thought it was so cool that I could get like a 1993 card depicting him in the Giants uniform, and have it on a very, very well-respected set, sort of coveted by a lot of different people in a lot of different segments. Hope I'm picking up the shine okay here, but this is the one that I have that's PSA 9. And as you can see, there is some discoloration on his uni. It's part of the hulking or greening that collectors have widely sort of noted about Topps Finest sets in the 90s. But it's an iconic card, and it's going to make a lot of people's top 5, top 3, and it did mine. Number 2, all time, might be a bit of a surprise. It is the 1999 UD Choice Prime Choice Reserve. This card is one of the coolest looking cards I have ever seen. fact that it's from a sort of an ignored product, a low-end product from a company that no longer makes licensed baseball cards, and looks like this, is incredible. This is not the first time I've shown it, but this is a top 30 list, and this card out of 100 definitely makes it. I have it as the second most favorite card in my 90s collection so far, in less than a year of collecting. And then the grand finale, number 1, surprise to not many of you who have followed my collection at all, it's the 1999 FLIR Brilliance 24 karat gold out of 24. And we'll pardon the distracting penny sleeve sort of inside the card, or inside the slab there. It is a result of having to try to get this thing re-slabbed, a mistake in retrospect, but as you can see, these are out of 24, so they're hard to come by. And if I could sort of get this card re-slabbed so I can look at it more often, it would probably be on my desk if I ever decided to display cards for myself. Alright, so that's my top 30. Thanks for watching.